Hi, Junior with today's thought. Today being a rainy day here in Tennessee, Memphis, or outside of Memphis where I am. And well, speaking of weather, I'm recording this on Friday, as I said. You're seeing it on Monday. I'm praying, actually, hoping and praying that all of you are still here, that we're all still alive, that the earth has not been reduced to burning cinder over the weekend because of this horrible looming catastrophe of climate change. Now, I don't remember how many years ago it was that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez predicted that we had exactly 5 years to do something about climate change, which to a Democrat, of course, doing something means spending a lot of our tax money, throwing it down a rat hole. And, well, the inflation, this is what I don't understand. Well, I guess I should be hopeful. The Inflation Reduction Act, horribly misnamed. Obviously, it caused inflation. It didn't prevent it. But Biden actually, he made a speech, and he said himself it was misnamed because it should have been a Green New Deal Act, and then it had a lot of climate change prevention stuff in it, and electric cars, yada yada yada. And so I don't know why everybody is worried about climate change, because we had this wonderful bill passed and everything is good. Yet we have, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she made this prediction. I'm trying to remember if it was 5 years ago yet that she said we had exactly 5 years, but it's getting pretty close to that. And there's also Greta Thunberg, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she, the Doom Pixie, let's just use that. That's what she's called, the Doom Pixie. So I imagine that she's very, very small, which may help her. She'll burn up. Well, I don't know. She may burn up faster than the rest of us if she's so small. There's less there to burn, so maybe she'll just combust like that, and with the rest of us soon to follow. Anyways, she made a prediction also that we had only a limited time to act on climate change. And I thought you might like to see, it's a lot of, I'm just wondering how all this, as I said in the title to this thought, how is all this scaremongering over all these warnings? Well, how's that working out for all these the climate change alarmists and scaremongers? And I'm going to show you just a couple short clips, a couple short video clips of other people predicting this horrible global warming catastrophe. And they called it global warming in back then, but now it's climate change because the earth is not warming, and so they have to call it climate change. So whether the earth warms or cools, it's caused by climate change, okay? Whether we have good weather or bad weather. As I said, it's raining as I'm recording this. It doesn't just rain every so often. It never rained since the earth was formed until climate change. Now it's climate change. So anyways, I'm going to show you the first clip. Of course, any review of predictions about climate change would not be complete without Al Gore. So I'm going to show you Al Gore. Now, this is Al Gore back in 2007, December 10th, 2007, predicting an ice-free Arctic, no Arctic ice, just bare ground by 2014. In other words, 10 years before today, 2024. Last time I heard the Arctic was still icy. And in fact, a little fact here for you, there was in 2024, the Arctic had more sea ice than in 2012. So you see, you had and the polar bears were supposed to disappear, and now that, you don't hear about polar bears anymore. They don't talk about it because the polar bear population has greatly increased. It was supposed to go the other way because there weren't supposed to be any more polar bears, and we all need polar bears, of course, to eat all those salmon instead of us eating it. But anyways, I'm going to here's Al Gore with his prediction of climate, of the damage of climate change.
Last September 21st, as the northern hemisphere tilted away from the sun, scientists reported with unprecedented alarm that the North Polar ice cap is, in their words, falling off a cliff. One study estimated that it could be completely gone during summer in less than 22 years. Another new study to be presented by U.S. Navy researchers later this week warns it could happen in as little as 7 years.
That was Al Gore, but you ain't seen nothing yet. That was Al Gore speaking in 2007. Now this is another report. This is a news report, not a speech before some group. This is an actual news report on network TV. Jessica Savage, who was, I believe, tragically killed in a car accident a long time ago. Anyways, I don't have the date for this broadcast, but it looks like it had to be the 1980s because she's citing a federal report. So this is your federal government, your tax dollars at work, predicting catastrophic warming of the earth by the 1990s.
The Reagan administration has proposed making airbags or automatic seatbelts mandatory for new cars. Critics urged immediate action. And finally, a federal report today predicted possible catastrophic warming of the earth by the 1990s with the strong climate change. I'm Jessica Savage in New York. More news later on this NBC station.
That's Jessica Savage, and now let's get serious because, I've just showed you two clips, and you can go way, way back, and from then until now, and we keep getting these predictions of dangers of catastrophic climate change and global warming, and it doesn't happen, which harkens back to a point that I made earlier, that in an earlier vlog, probably years ago, that they claim that it's the science, that they're following the science. Now, the basic tenet of science is, or principle, is that you look at data, you make a prediction, you form a hypothesis, and then you see if your hypothesis turns out. And if your hypothesis doesn't turn out, then you go back to the drawing board and you see, what did I do wrong? Obviously my hypothesis was wrong. But you have these repeated studies and reports and claiming that predicting catastrophic climate change by a certain day, and it doesn't happen. And what doesn't happen is they don't go back to the drawing board. They don't say, well, we were wrong. We have to go back and look at the global warming that we predicted, the climate change. It's not happening. The polar bears that we predicted would be dying out, they're not dying out. The Arctic ice that we said we'd be gone by 2014, it's still here. And the coral reefs, that's another one. Coral reefs were supposed to be disappearing, and no, the coral reef is expanding. So they're always wrong, and they never recheck what they did. They never admit that they're wrong. What do? They just change the date. That's all. They just change the date, and they just say, well, the global warming, a few years from now, I predict, let's say, AOC, when she made her prediction, I don't know if the time has passed yet, or Greta Thunberg, the date will pass, that date will pass, and what they predicted will not have happened, and they will just give us a new date when it will happen, and then we're also supposed to be afraid, which is how liberals, that's what they feed on. They feed on fear. They make everybody afraid of something. And actually, I remember when when I was younger, the threat was overpopulation. Now and the world is going to starve. Now we have an obesity problem around the world, and we have a problem with low birth rates, not population explosion. So you just got to take all these, I guess, with a whole mountain of salt, all these predictions, but the whole idea is to create fear so that you will support the government, well, whatever they want to do, to fight whatever bill they want to pass, whatever legislation they want to enact, whatever spending they want to do, that always at the end of the day has this result. Maybe, well, I don't think it's a coincidence, you tell me, that always makes us poorer, makes them richer, the people who get paid to do all this stuff, and makes us less free and them more powerful. And that's my thought for today. As always, your comments are welcome in the comments section below this video. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it, but most of all, come back and see me again. I would love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.